Anyway, this hair in my eye. Hello? Can you get out of my eye, please? Thank you. Hello everyone, it's me, Long, Pray, and welcome back to another video. So for today, I thought we'd tackle a topic that a lot of people on here love to talk about, and that is RuPaul's Drag Race. I feel like if you're watching me, you already know what RuPaul's Drag Race is. RuPaul's Drag Race is a critically acclaimed American TV show that now has several spin-offs all across the world, hosted by RuPaul, a famous drag queen, and now has almost 17 whole seasons. You guys have already seen in the past, I have auditioned for Drag Race numerous times now. I fear I might have another audition tape coming at you guys soon, because I don't think I got casted this year, but that's okay. It's okay. You know, you're not gonna get cast all the time. It's okay. It's okay. What I thought would be fun to do to introduce my Drag Race talkabouts here on the channel is I want to start off by talking about some of my favorite queens from the show. At number 10, I feel like none of these are going to be a surprise to anybody, but at number 10, I think this is the only blind side just because people didn't like her on her All-Star season, and that is Ms. Cracker.
Okay, Caitlin, it's time for dinner. Okay, Caitlin, it's time for dinner. Okay, Caitlin, time for dinner.
Ms. Cracker was originally on season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race and later on became a finalist on All-Stars 5. AKA the Shea Coulee season. I feel like on season 10 she had a really good run. She had a really good showing. Everyone was upset when she got eliminated, especially during that terrible twin challenge that they had them do, where essentially there was a good twin and an evil twin, and your evil twin was basically just degrading the good twin the entire episode. A lot of people did not like the fact that she got eliminated. I personally was rooting for Ms. Cracker and wanted to see her in that top 4 so bad. To this day, I still don't understand why they kept Cameron for so long. Not to shit on Cameron, but at that point, it was, I think, her 4th time lip syncing, and it wasn't anything that we hadn't seen her do before. Ms. Cracker is just one of those queens, I think, especially when she was doing her reviews with a Jew. It's what the show was called, Don't Come For Me. I do really enjoy her personality, and I love the fact that she's a lot business oriented. She's one of those queens, like we'll see later on, where drag is a business for her. She loves it, but it's also a business, so she doesn't get caught up in the fantasy of it all too often, which is definitely how I can kind of relate to her and some of the other queens on this list. I love drag, I love doing drag, but at the end of the day, I kind of don't get caught up in the fact that I'm living the fantasy too much, you know what I mean? I love doing drag, I love doing it as my art and my way of getting paid, but I feel like she's really grounded. And her personality is just really fun. We saw it all throughout season 10 and All-Stars 5. I feel like, you know, there was no way she was gonna win All-Stars 5, but a lot of people tend to forget that she was also a killer at the challenges, from her dill pickle thing on season 10 with Bossy Rossi to her farm to runway for All-Stars 5. She won 4 challenges on All-Stars 5, but I'm pretty sure no one even remembered that. But yeah, Ms. Cracker. Number 10. Number 9 for me, again, another queen. I don't think anyone's going to be shocked that this queen is on my list. This is going to be our first winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, and that is going to be Bob the Drag Queen.
How about this? Who says it all? You're welcome.
Take it.
I love me some Bob. Ever since I saw Bob on season 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race, I have been in love with Bob the Drag Queen. At first, it was a little like, oh girl, the makeup. But as we even saw her on her season, she's just such a seasoned queen. She knows her brand, she knows who she is, and truly who she is in drag is also who she is out of drag, which is something I can totally respect. She's not putting on a character. She's a great seamstress. She's a great performer. She can do comedy the house down, acting the house down, you know, and she's a winner. And that's not gonna influence my ranking, of course, but I mean, it's pretty a big deal if you were able to beat out all the other bitches in the competition. You know what I mean? Bob the Drag Queen is truly, even her post-Drag Race career has just been absolutely astronomical, from We're Here, that show that she did on HBO, to now being the spokesperson and touring with Madonna on her Celebration tour. That is insane. She was one of the first original Drag Race girls to actually do YouTube and keep up with her channel. There's a lot of queens that did YouTube, but they didn't really necessarily keep up with their channels. There's some queens that are the exception to that before the pandemic, which was like James Mansfield and Pearl. But most of the queens now, they started their YouTube channels during the pandemic. You know, Trixie Mattel, Brita Filter, you know, all the queens really. Bob the Drag Queen has been a working queen. You know, I love her so much. I've seen her in person. She's a lot of fun. And I just think she's a wonderful performer. Number 8. So number 8 for me is going to be the coveted, amazing, stunning, gorgeous model herself, Naomi Smalls. Naomi Smalls was originally on season 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race with Bob the Drag Queen, placing as 2nd/3rd respectively, and then being a finalist again on All Stars 4 next to Mo Hart, Monet Exchange, and Trinity the Tuck. I love Naomi Smalls so much. I feel like she is one of the queens that Naomi is all about the fashion, she's all about the glamour, she's all about serving a look. And she can be really funny as well, and she can act, as we saw on RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, she can't do any impersonations like we saw on RuPaul's Drag Race season 8, but she did kind of redeem herself on All Stars 4 with her Wendy Williams. I thought that was really good in my personal opinion. But Naomi Smalls is just gorgeous and fabulous, and her fashion knowledge is really admirable as well. And I think she's just overall really well-rounded. I think she got a lot of hate because of what she did to Manila Luzon in the very infamous episode where she sends Manila home. I still don't agree with what she did, but doesn't mean I don't love her, and I thought it was great TV. And it is the reason why they started the lip sync assassin format going into All Stars 5 and forward. So shout out to you, Naomi. You really did change the history books of All Stars. Speaking of Manila Luzon, at number 7 is Manila Luzon. Manila Luzon was originally on season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race, later on doing All Stars 1, and then going back onto All Stars on All Stars 4 after the rules started getting changed a little bit after BB Zahara Benet showed up on All Stars 3. Manila Luzon is one of those winners in my eyes. You know what I mean? She's always pretty much almost always made it to the end, or was predicted to make it to the end. If Naomi hadn't taken out Manila when she did, Manila was very obviously going to be the winner/front runner of the competition. And so Manila is just one of those girls that has the crazy concepts, but she makes them high fashion. She can act, she can perform, she can lip sync the house down. She's just an overall really well-rounded character. She can sew, as we saw in season 3, the season of sewing challenges. I think that Manila is just one of those queens that truly is outstanding. And even post-show, now she has her own Filipino drag show called Drag Den that she hosts. And it just shows Manila's power. I really do hope that Manila comes back to All Stars at some point in time. My prediction is that she's probably going to do a Versus the World if she does ever come back. But I really hope that Manila Luzon gets one final chance to really show the world that she deserves the crown again, and this time get the crown, because she really doesn't have anything to prove. She's great at challenges, and the only thing now she's missing is the crown. My personal opinion.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Number 6, we're about to reach the halfway point. Number 6 for me is going to be the iconic, absolutely stunning, literally bulldozed her entire season with the Sasha Colby meet and greet, Sasha Colby. Sasha Colby is one of the latest winners on RuPaul's Drag Race, just stepping down this year. She is the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race season 15. Sasha was praised during her season for her coveted looks, her acting skills, her dancing skills, and her performance skills. Sasha was well known in the LA scene way before she even showed up on Drag Race, because she is not only is she a Miss Continental winner, but she is also that girl who just, I feel like we all just knew who she was. I'm based in LA and I even knew who Sasha Colby was. She's one of those girls that was like, the minute that you get on Drag Race, we know you're winning. So just bring home the crown already. She said that she was influenced to go onto Drag Race after she saw her daughter, Carrie Colby, back on season 14, make it onto the show. And she wanted to, quote, show the girls how it's done. And that's exactly what she came to do. I mean, she bulldozed that whole competition. She had some stiff competition. I mean, she had Mistress Isabel Brooks and Lux Noir London and Anitra in the final four, but it was pretty obvious from the get-go that Sasha Colby was gonna dominate the competition. So yeah, Sasha Colby won. No one's shocked there. And frankly, for me, it doesn't feel right to not put her on my list because I personally love her so much. If you ever meet her in person, just know that she is one of the sweetest people that you will ever meet, and she's just so graceful in what she does. She like oozes sex, bro. She oozes sex. It's crazy. Number 5, we are at the top 5 queens of all time for me. There would be a point in time in my life where this queen would have been number 1, but I do think that it is important to note that like this queen has done nothing wrong. I love this queen to the bottom of my heart. It's just that she's taken a little bit of like step backs from drag and doing anything extra in drag. And in that regard, it's like you don't really see her that often. And of course, I'm talking about our favorite Russian hooker, Katya Zamenhof-Chekova.
Is this Russia?
With love.
Katya was originally on season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race, placing 5th respectively, and All Stars 2, where she was 2nd/3rd. In my opinion, she was supposed to be 1st, but we won't bring that up. Katya is one of those queens that very early on just oozed charisma, and we saw her uniqueness through and through. Her nerve very much came out, especially on All Stars 2, and her talent was prominent throughout the entire 2 seasons that she was on. On both seasons, she made it incredibly far, and it was very well known that not only did the judges love her, but the fan base is obsessed with Katya. It's very unlikely in the modern day for us to see Katya return to our screens. She's been battling with her sobriety for the longest of times since she's been on the show, and I would say to that, you know, Katya, take your time. Everyone goes through their own things at their own different paces, and all we can do is respect Katya's privacy at this time. With that being said, her post-Drag Race career has been amazing. She has one of the top YouTube shows in the history of YouTube, being with Trixie Mattel. Katya really was and had a lot of potential to be a full force in the industry, but again, this is at her pace, at her speed, and all we can do is really respect it. I love you, Katya, and I can't wait to see, you know, you back and you better than ever. And we're just rooting for you, girl. We love you. Number 4. So we're at the top 4 now. This is when I was thinking of this list, because I've been thinking about this list for a couple days now. I really had to sit down with myself and be like, be so fucking for real with yourself, okay? There's so many queens I have to think of. Number 4 for me, okay? Number 4 for me is going to be Monét X Change. So Monét X Change was originally on season 10 and later on won All Stars 4, placing in 6th place on season 10 and, like I just said, winning the crown on All Stars 4. She is a part of the twinners of Trinity the Tuck and Monét X Change of All Stars 4, which again seemed very chopped then and seems even more chopped now. Why they decided to edit it like that, and okay, whatever. Anyway, Monét X Change is the drag sister of Bob the Drag Queen, and I think the drag aunt of Miss Cracker. Overall, the house of the Drag Queen is just dominating this list, and I love to see it, honestly. I love them. Monét X Change is one of the most polished queens I've ever seen in my life. Her mug is always stamped. She is always ready to play, and I feel like Monét X Change was that girl even on her original season. On the original season of season 10, I really did enjoy Monét X Change, Miss Cracker, Aquaria, Asia O'Hara. Like, that was my top 4. And so both Monet and then Miss Cracker both getting the boot back to back. When I tell you I was livid, all I had was Aquaria and a dream. Monet has also had a very extensive career post-show. She had a show right before the pandemic called The Exchange Rate that unfortunately had to get canceled due to the pandemic, and of course, just like everything during the pandemic, it wasn't able to get picked back up. Monet has been on several tours of Work the World. I believe she was on RuPaul's Drag Race Live recently, and she came back for All Stars 7. And even on All Star 7, she was runner-up for the crown, just showing how strong Monet Exchange really is. In a room full of winners, she was first runner-up. Like, you can't read the doll.
Bitch, you can't read the doll!
Monet is one of those queens that I genuinely have a deep, deep love and appreciation for. And the only reason why she's higher on this list than Bob the Drag Queen is because, one, I think honestly she's a little fresher in my mind. In terms of like me seeing her kind of perform, and two, when I tell you, and this is not to be shady, I just really love her mug. Monet's mug is so stamped every single time I see it. Her mug is always so in place and so good. Number 3, so we are at our top 3 now. In third place for me, and this might be a hot take, I don't care, Gigi Goode. Gigi Goode was on season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race, placing 3rd/2nd respectively. Now, there's a lot of rumors about season 12 and what was supposed to be. Apparently, during season 12, there was supposed to be a rivalry between the Pie and Gigi Goode, where Gigi Goode was supposed to be portrayed as the villain of the season. And of course, with the Pie getting disqualified and them trying to erase the Pie from our memories, they had to scrap that whole storyline, making Gigi seem more likable than I'm assuming they were trying to make her in the first place. So I'm really happy we got the edit of Gigi that we did, because I just don't think that's accurate at all, why they were trying to pin Gigi like that. But Gigi, when I tell you she was one of the most polished fashion queens we've ever seen on the show, I mean it. Naomi Smalls, Violet Chachki, Miss Fame, Gigi Goode, Raja, Manila. She's a part of that group of fashion queens that get on the show that you just know they're gonna tear it up every time she touched that runway. Truly, she has some of my favorite looks of all time. From the orange button look that I can never get out of my brain ever. The Daphne look that she did for the purple runway, I think it was. You know, she had so many iconic looks. The only thing I did not like about one of her looks, and I will forever be angry, okay? Her finale top 5, technically top 4 look with the 80s campy face brace. It's a chop. It's a chop. Wrap it up. I wanted glamour, and she gave me camp. But that's to say, I genuinely love Gigi. I've met Gigi personally before at RuPaul's DragCon, and I bumped into her one day when I was doing a drag show here in LA called Battle Babies, where her and Simone were in the corner while we were all performing. And when I tell you I damn near passed out seeing her, I was so gagged. But yeah, Gigi Goode, number 3. I love you, Gigi. Love you. Yeah. Number 2, this is my top 2 queens of all time. These queens that I'm about to mention, they genuinely have held a deep place in my heart for the entirety of me knowing about Drag Race. I just think that, like, you know, you have your role models and you have your icons and like the people that you hold near and dear. And even though I've never met these queens personally, I've seen them at their shows, I've supported them at DragCon. Support the queens you love. Seriously. Doing drag is super expensive, and if you say you love them, support them. So don't forget to support me if you love me. I love you. So number 2, also from the house of Avalon, Simone. Simone is the winner of season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and when I tell you, in such an odd season, Simone was seriously a bright spot. That season was so important to me. I personally was kind of experiencing Drag Race burnout at season 13. Really, my Drag Race burnout started on season 11, and season 12 kind of brought me back because of how amazing it was. And then season 13, I started experiencing that burnout again because I just felt it was so exhausting. But Simone, when I tell you Simone was the whole reason why I tuned in every single week, just watching her, I could not with it. Her looks, her mind, her concepts, her acting. She is so unintentionally funny that it becomes intentional, and she's just so smart. She really did feed into everything that the judges gave her that they liked, and she went with it. And that's what you do when you're trying to win. You know what I mean? She had some pretty hard competition too. She had been in the bottom twice, but she had won 4 challenges. But then she also was going against 2 people that never bottomed, Rose and Gottmik. And the fact that she was able throughout this whole show to not only make it to the end, but also win, just shows not only how much fan support that she had, how much production saw in her, but also just her talent in general. She was so talented, and she is so talented. And even post-show, you know, the House of Avalon has that show on Wild Presents Plus that feature both Gigi and Simone. And if I ever get to talk to the House of Avalon in one fell swoop, it will be the highlight of my life. Now, oh, I have this. Hold on. Just for proof. Hold on on that. Hold on on that. Hold on. Now, hold on. When I went to DragCon in 2022, I got this Simone bag. With the purchase of a Simone beanie and a Simone flask at the time, I was supposed to meet Simone. When I tell you I'm obsessed with the House of Avalon, it's not a joke. I was supposed to meet Simone. I'd already met Gigi. Me and Gigi were in matching pink. You guys saw the picture. But I was supposed to meet Simone, but I believe what had happened was she was going on lunch. And they were like, hey, she's going on lunch. She's going to be back in an hour if you guys want to wait, or if you guys want us to just like, you could put down your number, we could call you. Me and my mom ended up leaving early just because of some separate stuff. But I was supposed to meet Simone, and I have yet to meet Simone. And if you see this, Simone, just know I love you dearly. I love the House of Avalon, and yeah, House of Avalon. You guys, before we get to our number 1 pick, it is very important for me to do some honorable mentions. I'm gonna mention 5 queens because if I don't limit myself, I'm probably gonna say every queen in the Drag Race sphere. I would probably say would be Latrice Royale, Jujubee, Tatiana, Adore Delano, and Shea Coulee. Latrice being from season 4, Tatiana being from season 2, Shea Coulee being from season 9, Adore Delano being from season 6, and Jujubee also being from season 2. These 5 queens I genuinely adore, truly. Latrice, literally, I mean, I feel like in my brain she's one of the first queens I genuinely fell in love with. These queens not being on the top 10 list do not mean that I don't love them as much, but I had to narrow it down to a top 10, and these top 10 are people that genuinely have impacted my life in one way or another, and really helping me find myself and my drag character. And these honorable mentions are people that were so close to that or have genuinely helped with that, but obviously don't have as deep as an impact as probably the people on the list. Number 1, I loved her on her original season. I loved her on her All-Star season. I don't care what anyone says, she deserved to win. Of course, we're talking about Trixie Mattel.
Oh, honey. Whew. That's how I roll. That is such a waste. That would have killed if someone was here.
What can I say about Trixie that hasn't already been said? I mean, Trixie had an amazing career post season 7, and then an even more amazing career post All Stars 3. I mean, Trixie Mattel has practically become a household name in every Drag Race household ever. She's one of the most followed queens on social media of all time, literally combating that of RuPaul. And she's quite literally one of the only queens to not only have multiple TV shows, but also have a YouTube channel that is now almost at 2.5 million or I think like 2,100,000 subscribers. She's literally in a league of her own at this point in terms of just notoriety. The only other two queens that I can think of that are on that level being RuPaul, then Trixie, then Bianca and Bob. Like, her impact has been absolutely cracked. On season 7, she placed, originally, I think she placed like 9th, came back into the competition and then placed 6th. Post season 7, she started with Katya, again, one of the most viewed TV YouTube shows of all time. Also one of the longest running now, almost having, I think, 7 or 8 years of Then she went on All Stars 3, where she won the crown. A lot of people like to contest her win, stating that Shangela should have won, or Ben de la Creme. Well, Ben de la Creme'd herself. And Shanji, as much as we loved her then, how it's turned out now, I think it's for the best that Trixie Mattel won that season. I personally adore Trixie Mattel. I have so much of her makeup products. I've met Trixie in real life, not once, but twice. I mean, there's a special place in my heart for queens that have really warped me into who I am today. And Trixie Mattel, I want to say, if everyone else has warped me probably 5%, Trixie Mattel has warped me probably at 50%. Like, truly, Trixie Mattel, I love Trixie Mattel. And with that, guys, this list is concluded. Now, keep in mind, this list is completely subjective. This is just my personal opinions on the queens that I love the most from RuPaul's Drag Race. Again, if you didn't see a queen on this list, it doesn't mean I don't love them. It just means that these top 10 queens are the queens that have genuinely stuck with me since the time I've seen them on their original seasons or their all-star seasons, and truly they are all, you know, amazing queens. Really, almost every queen from the Drag Race sphere is an amazing queen. And I say almost every because you know which ones are not. If you like that video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more great videos like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I post once a week every week here on my main channel, and I post my shorts all throughout the week. If you want to see more wigs like this and more gorgeous glamour that you can buy, I do have my Etsy store open now, link in the bio. Don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe like I said, and don't be afraid to follow your girl on all her social medias. I want to interact with you guys more. Be sure to leave your lists down in the comments below, and with that, House DeLongPray, it's Mimi DeLongPray, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!